What makes a dismissal fair? So today's video was actually inspired by this post where somebody asked what makes a person cheat despite them being in a happy relationship. And then I said they don't cheat on their partner, they cheat on themselves. So if they are married, then they are cheating themselves out of a peaceful home, because obviously if there's cheating, there's going to be strife, there's going to be bitterness. They're cheating themselves out of seeing their children grow. Let's say if the other spouse decides that, okay, cheating is not welcome in my space, I'm not staying with a cheater, then they've cheated themselves out of seeing their kids grow. They've cheated themselves out of a wife, or they've cheated themselves out of a husband, depending on who's doing the cheating, you know. So this was actually a lesson that I learned from a fellow TikToker who said she has never been cheated on in her entire lifespan of dating. And then she said, you would ask what makes her special, that she has never been cheated on. And then she says what makes her special is that she does not take anyone else's behavior and actually makes herself a victim and puts a stigma on herself based on somebody else's selfish actions, you know. So she said that she's never been cheated on. Whoever cheated while they were with her, they didn't cheat on her, but they cheated on themselves. They cheated themselves out of favor, as the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So they cheated themselves out of favor, they cheated themselves out of marriage, they cheated themselves out of seeing their kids grow, etc., etc. So she says she has never been cheated on. Okay, so it actually answered a prayer that I had. Okay, but maybe that will be getting too personal. Let's just go to the HR side. Okay, so getting to the HR side, I actually decided to apply this in the HR context to say, I, Pumzile Letimsiza, in my 15 years of being in HR, I have never dismissed anyone for misconduct, you know. So remember, there's 3 types of dismissals, ne? Is it 3? Or maybe we can lump the others together. So there's dismissal due to misconduct, which is the fault of the employee, and then there's dismissal due to incapacity, which is no fault of an employee. So incapacity can be ill health, or that the person just cannot perform the job. Maybe it's beyond their skills and their abilities. And then there's also dismissal based on operational requirements, which is retrenchments. Okay, so now for the purposes of this vlog, I'm gonna focus on dismissal based on misconduct. So I have never, in my 15 years as a generalist in HR, even working with different companies, dismissed a person or encouraged a company to dismiss a person. So follow and work with me right until the end. So everyone that has been dismissed under my watch, they have dismissed themselves, and they themselves also knew it, that they've dismissed themselves. And as a result, every dismissal that I was involved with from beginning until end, none of those people have actually taken the matter forward. None of them have actually gone to the CCMA or the bargaining council, depending like who had jurisdiction to hear the matter. Okay, so you ask how. So I make sure that the person is also aware that they're dismissing themselves. How do I do this? Like, it starts from the beginning. Like, things don't go wrong, they start wrong. So from the beginning, the person needs to know the company rules. They need to know what is like, let's say maybe if this is a first time offense, they need to know that it's counseling, first written warning, final written warning, and then leading up to dismissal. And then they also need to be aware what kind of offenses lead to dismissal, you know, like summarily dismissed. Difficult word. Yeah, what kind of action leads to a dismissal after the first occurrence, you know. So they get aware of that. So when they commit it, they are aware. If they commit like that nature of dismissal that leads, that nature of misconduct that will lead to immediate dismissal, they would have been made aware of it from the beginning. So this is why I say that they would have dismissed themselves. So if it's one, for example, that is not or does not warrant immediate dismissal at a first offense, let's say for late coming, for example. So when they come late, let's say according to my disciplinary rules, I know that the first time it's counseling, they know that it's counseling. The second offense, the written warning. The third offense, final written warning. The last one is a dismissal. So they would have worked with me through those steps. So when they eventually get dismissed, they would have dismissed themselves. The company would not have dismissed them. They would have dismissed themselves. And as a result, I have not had anybody actually go to the CCMA. So let's take the example of that person with the late coming issue. So they were aware that they were receiving the counseling. We spoke to them concerning their late coming. The written warning came, the final written warning came, the hearing came. They were given an opportunity to present their side of the story. So remember that in order for a dismissal to be fair, it needs to be procedurally fair, meaning that the necessary procedure needs to be followed. So going back to the example of the latecomer, even though we had the counseling issued, we sat with him, we explained to him that this is unacceptable, the written warning, and then when we issued the final written warning, we had a comprehensive hearing with an external chairperson who was not involved from the beginning to avoid the issue of bias. And then again, when we dismissed him, we had another hearing with an external chairperson, again to avoid the issue of bias. So they were aware of everything. So as a result, I say that they dismissed themselves, and therefore they did not want to waste their time and go to the CCMA. Okay. And this lady actually said that people will always push boundaries. So it's up to you. Let's say the man or the woman, let's say maybe you, the man, and the woman is cheating on you. It's up to you, you know, like people will always push their boundaries, you know. So it's up to you to say, okay, here and no more, you know. So like the disciplinary rules, actually they actually serve the same purpose as well, to say, okay, these are the boundaries, up to here can you go and no further, you know. So yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe someone will say even the one that's been cheated on and they're left without a partner, they've also been cheated out of a partner. But as somebody once wisely said, that you never win a cheater, you know, you never win a cheater. Whoever lands up with a cheater, they have lost, you know, and the one that got away has actually won. So the same as an employee, you know, maybe somebody might say, okay, that person dismissed themselves, but now the company is left with a vacancy that they need to fill. But then the company is better off without that rotten potato, as they say that the rotten potato, one rotten potato spoils the whole bag. Okay.